We are known as a nation of animal lovers, but the image hides the fact that calls to the Scottish SPCA are rising rapidly. Each year, the charity saves thousands of domestic pets, horses and farm animals, and wildlife. And throughout this series of Animal 999, they're giving us access all areas to find out how they do it. Coming up, these young squirrels are making themselves right at home.
They just follow me around. They use me as their tree. They're building up their strength and their muscles.
But this pigeon is happier in a hotel.
The manager there had a box ready to put him in, keep him in the dark.
The red squirrel is Scotland's only native squirrel species. But for the last 100 years or so, the population's been on the decline. Grey squirrels, introduced from North America, are gradually taking over. They're bigger, they can digest acorns, which reds can't, and they carry a virus which doesn't affect them, but is harmful to reds. Experts reckon Scotland's red squirrel population could be extinct in 50 years if the spread of the greys continues unchecked. They need to be hand-reared, getting milk just like they would from their mother. Then it's a gradual process to get them ready to be released. And that all begins at home.
A lot of our orphaned mammals that come in, they're just too young to stay at Fishcross because obviously we're only there during working hours. And so they need round-the-clock care, really. They need more feeds than we can do. All right. Do there. So we bring a lot of them home. So small mice, squirrels, hedgehogs, rabbits, basically all small mammals that are orphaned. So we just have to keep them with us, squirrels especially, because they're so playful and they need a lot of enrichment. So it's quite handy just having them with you. They learn to climb, obviously, as you can see, they're running all around me. They learn to socialise with each other as well. And we just have time to play with them then, rather than them just being stuck in a cage all the time.
These two are called Jar Jar and Binks. They were found together on the ground in a forest near Blairgowrie.
I basically just go about my normal life, just make a few adjustments. They just follow me around. They use me as their tree. They're building up their strength and their muscles so that they're ready for the aviary when they're weaned off the milk. This guy's found a little safe space, I think, in here. They like dark, enclosed spaces. It makes them feel safe. It makes them feel like they're back in the dray.
The squirrels will soon be ready to stay at the Wildlife Centre full-time. And Eve will get her house back. This cat has been at the Society's Dundee Rescue and Rehoming Centre for a couple of days. It's enjoying some food now, but it had been reported as skinny and neglected looking by a number of callers and had to be rescued from the car park of this garden centre in Perth. Turns out the cat has an owner, and she wants her back. Animal Rescue Officer Ben Suter sets off to reunite them. Red squirrels Jar Jar and Binks are now about 8 weeks old. They're not quite ready for solid food, so small mammal's chief Eve is feeding them porridge, which apparently tastes a bit like apples. It won't be long before she'll stop all contact with these squirrels.
From today onwards, I won't come in here anymore, limit my contact with them, so we'll just come in to feed them and clean them out, and that's it. Just so they can start to get a bit more wild, and then we'll move them to an outdoor aviary. So they'll start to influence, they'll start to see the weather. They'll get a bit colder. And once they're eating really well and they can crack nuts on their own and they're eating everything, then they'll go out for a release.
This plump little red is about 4 weeks old, a bit younger than Jar Jar and Binks. She'd been abandoned by her mother in the attic of a house in Aberdeen. Eve's named her Jabba the Hutt. OK, there's a Star Wars thing going on here.
I'm feeding her every 4 hours at the moment, but I leave an 8-hour gap overnight. So she's getting fed 5 times a day at the moment.
Jabba will soon be eating porridge before moving on to rusks and nuts. The plan is to put her in an outside aviary next to Jar Jar and Binks and release all three of them together.
It's really hard not to fall in love with them. They're so cute.
Calls about injured pigeons are among the most common that come into the Scottish SPCA. The latest is from a hotel in Glasgow, which has found itself hosting an unexpected guest. This little fella has been sitting outside the hotel, looking very sorry for himself.
I'd spotted him out the back door, so I come down for a look, and when I saw him, I thought I had recognised him from a couple of days ago, just along the street, because he was sitting in the same huddled position. And in closer inspection, it looked like his wee wing, there was something wrong with his wings. It looked like he lost some feathers. So I went to get a tea towel, and he disappeared. So he was away round in a wee corner and managed to get him throwing the tea towel over the top of him. He gave a wee twitter, and the manager there had a box ready to put him in, to keep him in the dark.
Animal Rescue Officer Jan Torriman has plenty of experience with pigeons and knows what to look for.
I don't know if you heard the little noise he was making. He's fairly young. He's just a young pigeon. You can tell because his eyes are, when they're young, they've got blue around the eye, and then it sort of changes into orange.
What about like budgies?
Yeah, sort of similar. So the eye colour is just sort of at that stage where it's changing, because he's like a juvenile sort of thing. He's not a nestling, he's not a fledgling. He's probably able to fly, but he's at that stage of learning to fly, but he's really, really thin. So you can see his breastbone here, his keelbone. You can see.
When I'd seen him a couple of days ago, somebody else had actually put seed. And he wasn't eating it.
He's maybe been abandoned by his parents, maybe something's happened to his parents, or he's maybe got something going on inside that's hindering him from eating. It could maybe be in his mouth or maybe something else going on. He's not got anything in his crop, so he's not eaten recently and his body's really, really thin.
Although there are no obvious breaks or fractures, there are some feathers missing from the bird's right wing. So the best thing for him is a trip to the Society's Wildlife Rescue Centre, where he'll be given all the care he needs.
He hasn't been eaten, and I think right enough there is something wrong with his wing, so I hope he gets well fed and he gets back out there and fly with his pals again.
Before Jan takes the bird up to the centre, she needs to rehydrate it. He's a thirsty boy.
It didn't look like he'd eaten at all, so I'm wondering if he's been drinking. I was just giving him some water, but he actually took quite a lot. And normally the pigeons, they don't like to be, force-fed or given, water like that. But that pigeon was really happy for that. It seemed to be wanting more and more. So it's obviously dehydrated.
Fortunately, Jan got to the bird just in time. After a few weeks of fattening up at Fishcross, it recovered well enough to be set free. Still to come, the last thing this spaniel needs is fattening up.
We feed her too much, probably too many tidbits, but I mean, you can see she's no hanging or anything like that.
And Jabba the squirrel is getting adventurous. It's been 2 weeks since we last saw our 3 red squirrels. Jabba, the youngest one, is getting more adventurous and showing signs she's ready to transfer to an outside aviary. And she's moved on from bottled milk.
I'm feeding her a mixture of different nuts and berries, and then this is just an oat and apple porridge. It just helps them wean. It smooths the transition from milk onto solid foods. When they're still on milk, they sleep a lot of the time. They're not really interested in exploring at all, but now she loves exploring through all of the branches in her cages and everything. And I get her out during the day so that she can have a bit more exercise as well. When we get them, we know that they're not a pet, and that obviously what we want them to do is to get released. So it's less of a sad occasion than a happy occasion, I mean, that's what we want. We want them to go back into the wild and rejoin the breeding population and hopefully have more red squirrels.
The only contact Jar Jar and Binks have with humans now is when food is put out for them. They've both got great appetites and have gained a lot of weight. Jabba will be put outside in a few days, and then, if everything goes to plan, it won't be long before all three are released. Animal Rescue Officer Ben Souters arrived in Perth to hand over the cat rescued from a garden centre car park. The Moggie's owner lives across the road from the store, so it was lucky the cat managed to cross this busy road without getting knocked down.
Hiya.
Gabby!
You'll be excited to get her back.
Oh.
Will she just come to you?
Baby.
Yeah.
Gabby!
There we go, we'll open this bit here.
Come
Go
on,
on then.
baby. Ecstatic. I'm over the moon. Honestly, I can't describe how I feel. She's just like my first baby. You know, I've got a daughter, but she's my first baby, and I thought she'd disappeared. You hear about cats going away, especially that age, going away to die, and I thought that's what happened to her. And I'm just so relieved. Can't say anything else. I'm just so relieved that she's home.
It must be a relief for Gabby the cat as well. But Ben has to talk to her owner about the skinny condition she was found in.
Yes, how old is she?
She is 19 years old.
19, and she got some medical issues, has she?
She does. She's got an overactive thyroid.
Oh, right, okay. So does that mean she's not putting on the weight?
She won't put on weight. She is monitored every month before we get our new prescription. But no, she kind of loses the weight and then she puts it on, but doesn't actually put on a lot of weight.
Right, okay. Yeah. The cat had been picked up as a stray at the garden centre due to a member of the public phoning in. Was a bit concerned about the cat because of its thyroid problems and things. It makes the cat quite skinny. It can't put on the weight, so people obviously immediate thought is to look on it as a neglected animal. So that's how it became in our care.
No wonder Gabby was skinny. And to be fair, the members of the public who'd phoned in about it couldn't be blamed for thinking she was neglected. But all's well that ends well. And now she's back home, it's time for Gabby's medication.
That's it. No. You have to take this one first. Good girl. She looks a bit beraggled, but she's well looked after. She gets groomed every night, bathed every night with a damp cloth, so she is well looked after. And she is part of the family, and always will be.
That's fantastic. It's the best outcome we can ask for, especially when you can find the owner so easily and they're out there looking for the cat. So it's a fantastic outcome.
And it looks like Gabby's even got her appetite back. It's D-Day for our red squirrels Jar Jar, Binks and Jabba. They've been cared for at Fishcross for 10 weeks, but now they're all ready to be released.
Because they're so wild and we're using a net, we don't really want to injure any of them. Certainly at this stage that would be, a tragedy. So it's taking a bit of time, being careful. If we can get them in the boxes, that's great. If it's just using the net, then, okay. It might take a while, or it might be quick, who knows. Quicker the better for these guys.
If Colin is lucky, one or more of the squirrels will still be in their boxes. And he is. Jar Jar's at home.
It saves me chasing him around. That's okay. I think the other one's in this one.
Jabba's also in her box, so that's 2 easy catch-ups for Colin. But Binks isn't coming so quietly.
See, they're quite fit. Ideally, I'd like to get him to run into the net if I can. This is just trying to anticipate which way he's going to go. I'll have you in a minute. Ooh. Gotcha. That's him. Now the knack now is getting him in here without this one coming out. So, went well. So he's a nice fit wild squirrel, which is good. And you shouldn't really be able to catch him first time, so I'm pleased with that. It was as quick as most go.
The woodland release site is about an hour away, so the squirrels will soon be back where they belong. Now, what could be wrong with this Springer Spaniel in Midlothian? A complaint's been made that Molly is overweight and doesn't get enough exercise. It's a sensitive subject for some owners, many of whom don't see that their pet pooch has been piling on the pounds. Inspector Tracy Dow has been sent to investigate.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi there, I'm Inspector Dow from Scottish SPCA.
Yeah.
I had a wee complaint about your dog. Did you have a Cocker Spaniel?
Oh.
The complaint is that the dog is very overweight and never let out. It's just out in the gardens, never walked.
Well, I come up every day.
Do you? Is it your parents' dog? Is
It's my mum and dad's
Is it all right to come and see you and see the dog?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Hello. Certainly, the dog is certainly very overweight, but it's his mother's dog, and the son's saying he comes down to walk it every day. So we'll just have a wee word and see when she was last at the vets and stuff, because there might be something underlying. She is very overweight. You can see her back end, you know, there's obviously no ribs or anything there. You should be able to sort of feel the ribs, but she is very overweight. Hi there.
Dad.
Hi there.
What's with your pop?
I've had a complaint with your dog's overweight. She certainly is very overweight.
Yeah, we know that. She's been to the dietitian.
She's been to the vet, has she?
Yeah, and she's
Perfect.
getting thing, and the next month she's getting...
Weight again. They've got her on a weight gain programme, have they? Perfect.
She's getting, what do you call it? She's getting the operation to stop having children.
Oh, she's getting spayed, is she?
Yeah. I'm very surprised, because I mean, we've had dogs all our lives and we've never been accused of retreat. I'm quite angry actually. I'd rather like to find out who done it, because I think this is sneaking back, and somebody obviously has got a grudge against us for some reason, because the dog, as you see, she's well looked after and she gets out all the time with the wife.
Looks like Molly is actually too well looked after. She can still run about now, but extra weight will gradually take its toll.
It's the opposite of cruel. They're giving her tidbits because they love her. But, you know, on the other hand, then it puts, you know, makes her put weight on. She's then putting pressure on her joints, which then has, you know, an effect on her health. It's a bit like us when we put weight on. So certainly, you know, they're almost being a bit cruel because they're feeding her too much. So they need to kind of cut out the tidbits. You know, if they want to give her a tidbit, give her out of her daily allowance of food rather than giving her a sausage a bit or a wee biscuit here and there.
Typical, because we feed her too much, probably just too many tidbits, but I mean, you can see she's no hungry or anything like that.
The life expectancy of a healthy Springer Spaniel is 12 to 14 years, but being overweight can dramatically cut that down.
Certainly, it's a very loved dog, you know, nice house, nice garden. Certainly the dog is overweight. The son's saying he's now walking it obviously more. Thankfully, they do realise there is a weight problem and they have contacted their vet already, and it is on a weight loss programme. So obviously they now just have to make sure they do keep going for the regular weight checks and get her weight down before it causes any more issues.
She goes to the vet, and then hopefully when we get her sprayed we can get... But as you know, the weather's not been that great for getting her out there now either, so she's not been getting a lot of walk. So once she starts running about again all the time, she'll be losing weight quite quickly.
If you're in any doubt about your pet's weight, make sure you ask your vet, and like this family, take their advice. It's time for our red squirrels to become reacquainted with the countryside. They've been hand-reared, weaned, and then left to develop their foraging and climbing skills at Fishcross for the last 10 weeks or so. Now, they'll have to put all that into practice in the real world.
It's a really good area. Got a good range of trees. In this specific tree that we're going to release onto, you can see it's like really thick tree for them to start off on. They've got a good selection of foods around, as well as being support fed, so yeah, they'll get on well.
Jar Jar is first to get his freedom. He just needs a little helping hand, and away he goes. Now it's Jabba's turn. And finally, it's Binks. He doesn't need any encouragement.
It could have went a wee bit better. I like it if they all go in the tree, and you know, that's like the good scenario. You see a couple went either way, but I mean they seem fine and they're quick and moving well, so I don't have any worries for them.
There's a large local population of red squirrels here. Let's hope Jar Jar, Binks and Jabba will all live long and prosper. Or is that another movie?